Hi Lifers, this is Ashley. I am back with another tutorial. This one is cream contour and highlighting technique that I use. I don't use this every single time. Sometimes I just bronze up. I call it brontour, so nothing super harsh as far as contouring my face, but just giving my face a little bit of definition. I feel like if you contour too much, you can sometimes look muddy. And what I like to do is just define the natural features that I have and give a little shape and color to my face. So I already have, I'm going to zoom in. I already have foundation on and I have a little concealer under my eyes. I did my brows and everything else. And I just put a tiny bit of powder right here. I didn't powder anything else. And all it is foundation on my face. So products I like, a cheap version is this e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. So how you would use this, what shade is this? Honey Drip. How you would use this is you would just press into this and slowly start to bronze around the perimeter and everything else. Or you would dip your, if you're going to be contouring your nose or anything like that, you would take a smaller brush, dip in and contour or bronze in that way. I'm not using this today, but that's an option as far as a cheaper option, and it's still a good product. Today I'm using Rare Beauty Happy Soul. This is a really good one. I just started using this. And you could honestly like dip into this stick if you are having a harder time with shapes and things like that, or you're just starting. You can kind of take your brush and go like that and have more control over things, but I'm not going to use it that way. This is so Happy Soul, and it's stick bronzer from Rare Beauty, which is Selena Gomez's line, and I really like this. It's easy to use. So we're going to start there. So the way I like to, I'm going to grab my mirror too. The way I like to use it is I like to start a little bit lower, not all the way into my hairline. However far I want my bronzer to sit, is I'll keep it down here because I'm always gonna blend upward. Same thing with my cheekbones is you're gonna go like this. And if you are to, when you're blending your bronzer, if you blend downward, you're going to completely get rid of the point of having the chiseled area, because you're going to blend down and it's going to make it where you don't have as defined of a cheekbone. So I start here and I just draw on myself. I'm going to do a little bit of this in the mirror too, because and this stuff, you don't have to blend too quickly. So there, and I'm going to blend this all up. But then I'm also going to take kind of where I want a chiseled look, which is go up, go up, maybe a little bit here. And then a lot of times I'll go in with the jaw. First, I'm going to blend this out first. So when you're blending your bronzer, blend up into your hairline. See how easy that blends? Obviously, if you had a bigger forehead, you would start down lower, but I don't. Like if you had a, I don't know, 5 head, that's what they call it. You go a little bit farther down because you would want to kind of just cut that shape off and make where your your forehead looks a little smaller. And then here, I'm going to take this part back. This blend upward. See how that kind of sculpts? Some people do the skull technique where they go where if you were to draw for Halloween, that looks horrible on me. And kind of blend it in right there. And if you're not precise, what I do is eventually I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm going to show you where I conceal, and that's going to, I use it to clean this area up. That's my dog whining because somebody's alarm on their car went off. Oh Lord, that dog's so annoying. But she's cute. So there. See how I added a little color to my face? We'll clean this up. Clean that up. And then if you want to go back, sometimes I'll just add it like that. So if you want to add a little more, you can always take a little off here. But with this, you're going to get a little more uneven mess on your brush. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of patting it off on my hand, kind of swirling it. And I'm going to add color here. But that's just to kind of diffuse it on your brush so you don't have, so there we are right now. So that you don't have any, like where some of it's more on your brush than others, or a little bit less. There you go. And then, if we want to do the jaw, this is if you, maybe you are a little bit bloated from the holidays, this is going to make you look like you have a more chiseled jaw. So some people start a little higher here, and that's giving the illusion that you are a little thinner here. I don't do that all the time, but I kind of blend down on that. And then I blend down on my neck a little. Because again, if I blended upwards, I would start to cut this line and actually do the opposite effect of what I want. Again, kind of go like that. Clean it up. And blend down into your neck. See how we got rid of that line, but it looks a little more chiseled. And then I think I have a cute button nose, and this is more, all your features are beautiful. It doesn't matter what your nose looks like, but for some people who like to do, want their nose to look a little more chiseled, I'm gonna show you how you make lines right there. It's going to make your nose look more pinched. Again, you can just, sometimes I'll just take, honestly, powder bronzer, bronze the sides, and then just kind of powder down the middle of the nose, and it does the exact same thing. So what I do if I'm cream contouring is I start at the eye. Blend down this way. I'm going to start doing this in my handy dandy mirror, but you can kind of see I start up here and then I kind of feather it out. And we'll clean this up later, and I'll show you how to get a more snatched nose. But there. How we're looking at, and then we'll use concealer to make it, and concealer down the middle to make it look like you have a more snatched nose too. Because it's not just about contouring it, it's about also highlighting the right areas. Another trick to make your lip look fuller, I don't need much help in that area, but is bronzing up here. Taking. So it looks fuller there. All right, so we're done with that part. Everything's pretty well done. See how that makes it look a little fuller when you kind of, like that, more rounded. That's done. And now we're going to, I'm going to show you how to do a little eye lift. and then where I conceal, and then where I clean up this. So I take a little flat puppy paw brush. I forget what they're called. I think it's a puppy paw brush, right? And if you want a little more of the center of your face to be brighter, you can do it this way. I kind of go like this. I don't like too much. And then this is where you want your eye lift effect. You're going to go there. Oh, shit. It's different doing it on camera as you're... And then I like a little bit of highlighting here. And then straight nose here. A little on the chin. There. There. So what I'm going to do here is this is going to brighten the center of your face. What this is going to do is see how this lifts. It gives a lifted effect to the eye right there. And then kind of blend it in there. If you need to go back with a little bronzer on the face, we're going to do powder. And then it kind of makes like a spotlight on your face here. And then you can also add a little here. See how we're starting to come together? And then this is where we clean up that space. Blend upward. Kind of blend in this way. I got myself good on that one. I don't know if I needed that much. Look straight on. This is where our sculpting comes in. See that? I like this part brighter. I think that's where the muddiness of people's stuff is, when they contour down like a skull and it kind of just looks weird. So upward, upward, center of the face. Now I'll take a different kind of brush and use it like this. I'm on an iPhone, so it might not be as noticeable as far as that. And then kind of just take my old brush, kind of go like that. And you've got a more sculpted nose, and then take your concealer down the sides as well. Down this way. It's gonna make you look. Okay, and kind of go back and forth. If you feel like you did too much concealer, kind of soften it up. Soften it up. Or some people will, blend out their contour with their foundation brush, so it's not so harsh and it looks more blended that way too. So now we're now this is where I'm just going to assess the situation, you know. See there? And this is where you're going to powder down. This is where I powder down, and then I add in more powder bronzer. If you want a more intensified look, if you don't care about that, I mean, half the time you could just do powder bronzer instead and not do cream contour at all. Or this is where you would intensify your bronzer with, I'm going to set my face and then intensify it with powder bronzer, so you get even more sculpted effect. So here Usually I'll take my powder puff because that's just how I like to set my face. And this is when I'll set the center. And this is where you're going to set the sides of your nose as well. Under eye. I start with the center of the face. And I set the lighter spots first because then you're kind of, like if you were to set your bronzer and then go over it with other spots, it would drag the bronzer into the wrong spot. Into the bronzer into the places you want to highlight. Set here. For the most part, I do the main powder puffing in the center of my face where I want to look smoother. There. And then that's another way. Fold this powder puff up. And that's where you're going to make it where you're not as muddy. It's going to define it even more here. Muddy just means like, you know the people. They went ham with their bronzer and it's kind of just all over the place and there's no sculpting to the face at all. And then usually, and then sometimes I'll just go around and take like a little puffer brush and that's where I'll kind of go in. Powder, the point of powder is to set your face so your products don't move. If you aren't setting cream products, they just go everywhere. Here. And then after I'm done setting, so we've got a little bit of color, I'm going to go back in with a normal bronzer brush like this, kind of like curved. This one's from Laura Lee, Los Angeles. I like her brushes. I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna add it in. See how that's intensified because I know what the drag queens would call it is underpainting, I think. If you want to learn how to sculpt your face, ask a fucking drag queen. They'll know. They're the people that freaking invented this stuff. It's a way to change the shape of your face, feminize the face. They use it to feminize their face. Who's your favorite drag queen? Mine's Trixie Mattel. I gotta zit there. I've been working on it for so long, I just don't even care anymore. I had a pimple patch on it last night. There you go, a little more here. And honestly, if you don't have time for any of the powder stuff, this is exactly where you would place your bronzer. Along the hairline and kind of shape it where you want to take away the size of your forehead. That. Intensify the side of the nose. Like that. And then my favorite brush for cleaning up the edge, if it's not a powder puff, is this guy. It's kind of like a large fat fan brush. And this is where I'll finish with my setting powder. And this is, or finishing powder. The other was setting powder by Patrick Star. Jeez, Patrick Star. Let's clean that up. There. There. Finish her up right here. Finish her there. And this is how we bronze. We would normally add in, after this, add in blush and whatever. But this is how we bronze, bronzer, whatever it may be. And that's it. See you later, guys.